Welcome back to AM Northwest. You know, the foods you eat can help you live longer. Here to share some of the delicious dishes in the Power 5, we welcome preventative medicine physician and best-selling author, Dr. Michael Crupain. Good to have you with us, Doctor. First of all, how do these foods work together, the 5 foods?
Yeah, hi, Helen. Great to be here. I wrote this cookbook because I love food. I love eating it. I love cooking it. And I get really frustrated as a preventive medicine physician when people are scared to eat foods, when they click on these headlines and say, don't eat this and don't eat that. So I wanted to create a cookbook that changed the narrative. It was all about the foods you need to eat more of. I call them the Power 5. They're fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, whole grains, beans, and fish. And the reason I chose these foods is because I've read tons and tons of scientific literature, so you don't have to, and it tells a consistent story. These foods are associated with a decreased risk of death from cardiovascular disease, a decreased risk of death from diabetes. They're associated with preventing cancer. And when you look across the world at the people who live the longest, they eat mostly these foods. These are the foods that promote life, and these are the foods you need to eat more of. We don't eat enough of them, unfortunately.
Okay, give me an example. And I know you've worked in restaurants before, so you have that background, so you can make these all taste great.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. Probably people watching right now are saying, oh yeah, I know I'm supposed to eat more fruits and vegetables. I know I'm supposed to eat these, but they don't taste good. I don't want to eat those things.
Right.
That's why I spent years here where I'm standing in my kitchen working on these recipes, testing them over and over again to make sure that each one is delicious. And I guarantee you, these recipes will please even the most picky of eaters, that they'll want to eat them again and again. It's so important that we eat food that tastes good. And these foods can taste good. You just need a few tricks and techniques to do.
I love that. Okay, you say they're stealthily healthy. So give me an example of what you mean.
Yeah, so I'm a preventive medicine physician. I love to cook. I love cookbooks, but I would never buy, or almost never buy, a cookbook that was healthy. They usually have weird recipes, strange ingredients, strange substitutions. I wrote the Power 5 as a cookbook that happens to be healthy, not as a health book that you cook from. I'll give you an example as you asked. One of my favorite recipes in the book, it's a beautiful recipe. When I look at the picture, I get really, really hungry. It's for eggplant parmesan. Right?
Oh, yum, yeah.
Eggplant parmesan, this is crazy, right? Well, my recipe is really easy to make. I've cut out a lot of steps. I cut out the salting before you cook it. I cut out the breading. I cut out the frying. I cut the eggplant, but what I do is I cut the eggplant really thin. I stack it up really high so it looks amazing. Between each layer is a little bit of a really simple tomato sauce, and then some grated Parmigiano Reggiano or Pecorino cheese. So I use an aged cheese instead of a young melty cheese like mozzarella because it adds a ton of flavor. So now you've got this stack of eggplant. You can taste the eggplant, you can taste the cheese, you can taste the tomato. It's filled with all these nutrients and fiber that are really good for you, but it tastes delicious, so you don't even think about that.
So, and it's got to be that your work as a doctor kind of guided you through these recipes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a preventive medicine physician. I'm focused on getting to the root cause of the problem.
Right.
One of the root causes is we don't think these things taste good and we don't eat enough of them. I spent years studying in medical school, anatomy, physiology, but every chance I got, I snuck out, or I had a break. I went and cooked for my friends. I started a pastry club for my classmates, and I cooked in restaurants, asking them to let me peel carrots or clean artichokes. I've gone to cooking schools in Asia and in Italy, just came back from one where I was co-teaching. It was really in Italy where I saw that they were eating in this one particular part in Puglia, in southern Puglia. They ate this really healthful diet. It was amazingly delicious. And it was then that I decided my life would be devoted not just to my personal mission of making the world a healthier place, but also making it a more delicious place.
Give me an example of a typical weekday.
Yeah, so in the Power 5, I have what I call the Power Plan. I show you how to go shopping, and my goal for you is to eat 4 out of the 5 Power 5 foods every day, and 5 out of the 5 at least once a week. So I've got a plan day by day on how you can make that easy. So for example, on a Monday, you could have green beans with a walnut sauce. The walnuts are a nut, the green beans are a vegetable, that's 2. You could add my ancient grain whole wheat sourdough focaccia. I like to put tomatoes in there, different herbs and olives. We've got 2 more Power 5 foods there. One's repeated, so now we're up to 3. And then you could try my chickpea Murphy. This is a cool dish. It is made with chickpeas, with some potatoes that are a little bit crispy, some peppers, some mushrooms, and a really tangy sauce. I actually grew up eating this, but with chicken. Chickpeas are a great substitute for chicken. And now you've got beans, so you've got 4 out of your 5 Power 5. You're done for the day.
Wow, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Your favorite food that maybe your family likes, a family favorite.
Oh, I mean, there's so many.
I mean,
great recipes in the
that
book.
eggplant lasagna sounded really good.
Yeah, the eggplant is definitely one of them. The other one I've been talking a lot about that I really love, and everyone asks me for the recipe when I make it for them, when I make it for my family or I go visit friends, is my creamed corn. You know, you wouldn't, again, think a doctor would be making creamed corn. That's something that comes out of a can filled with sugar and fat. Mine, it has really just a few ingredients. It's got corn, it has water. I put a little miso in it if you want to bring out some umami, some shallots and herbs, and a little bit of olive oil. The way I do it is I cut the corn off the cob. I use the cobs to make basically like a corn tea. So I'm extracting more corn flavor. Grate the corn and put it in a blender to break it up a little bit. Cook all that stuff together. You end up with this really strong, beautiful corn flavored, creamy dish, and you won't miss all the saturated fat and sugar.
Oh my gosh, that sounds good. All right, we want to tell everyone again, the book is titled The Power 5. Dr. Michael Crupain, thank you so much. Great talking with you.
Thank you. So great to talk to you.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.